After we prepare the sales budget and we have idea that how much are we going to sell for each quarter, and we also did the production budget to know how many units do we need to produce for each quarter, and based on the production requirement, so we know how much material will it cost us to purchase and how much labor do we need to pay, and also we know how much overhead do we need to apply for the uh, production units. So, and we did the selling administrative expense. Now we can prepare the income statement. But before we can prepare the income statement, we need to know our cost of goods sold. So we can use our sales revenue minus cost of goods sold to get a gross margin. Then we can deduct the selling and administrative expense to get our net operating income. So to prepare the cost of goods sold budget, we need to know that how much does it cost us to produce one unit. Then we need to know how many units do we need to expect to sell to get the total cost of goods sold. So to find out the cost per unit, we need to know the direct material cost per unit. So the question said that each parachute need 20 square yards this material that costs $15 per square yard. So for each parachute, we need 20 square yard and add $15 per yard. So it costs us $300 to produce one parachute as far as material. For direct labor, is each parachute requires 15 hours. Direct labor at $12 per hour. 12 times 15, this is the direct labor hour cost per unit. And variable overhead is 50 units per unit, $50 per unit. And our total fixed cost overhead is $5,000 per quarter, and when we divide by how many units do we produce or do we expect to produce. So this is the budget production. So we get for the fixed overhead, it costs us on average about $12.66 to produce one parachute. So now we can compute the total manufacturing cost per unit. We add them together. So to produce one parachute, it costs us $542 and $543 to produce one unit. So we can put this number right here. So we can round this to $543 to produce single parachute. Budget sales unit, they told us for quarter one, 40,000 units. Quarter two, 35. Quarter three, 45,000. So we know our unit cost per parachute, then we know our total sales units, so we can compute our budget cost of goods sold. This for quarter one, it's a dollar amount. 1, 2, do it again. Cannot copy. Okay, so once we know our cost of goods sold, we can plug the number here. Budget cost of goods sold. Actually, I'm sorry. Need to put the period right here. Sales revenue is from the sales budget. The cost of goods sold is, we just calculate right here. They're all dollar amounts. So we know our sales revenue, we know our cost of goods sold, so we can generate gross margin. Budget gross. Should be budget gross margin. So sales revenue minus cost of goods sold to get the gross margin. And then we know our selling and administrative expense. We already did on the selling and administrative expense budget right here. And format them. And so finally we can compute our net operating income. So use our gross margin minus selling administrative expense to get our net operating income. And so this is our budget income statement.